Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Nelson, and I just wanted to take some time to make a video to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while, and that's been my gaming habits in general. But before we get into it, if you enjoy the video, please leave it a like, and if you're new, subscribe. So, yeah, it's kind of been on my mind for a bit because I've noticed that I'm not playing a lot of the games that I normally gravitated to growing up, and when I was younger, when I was in high school, college, all that stuff. And it's really because they demand so much of your time now. And lately, I've just been wanting to play shorter experiences or games that really put the gameplay at the forefront, and not these huge cinematic adventures with tons of cutscenes and things like that. And that's not to say that I don't like those games anymore. I do, and there are still a few that I'm super excited for, but it's been harder to kind of maintain the excitement to carry on playing those types of games. And it just comes to a lot of games nowadays are either huge open worlds or they're just filled with a lot of bloat and a lot of things that you can definitely tell are meant to pad out your time with the game. And for me, I've just got to be so picky with that time. And it's actually gotten me to visit a lot of indie titles and Nintendo titles that I never played. So growing up, we had an N64, a GameCube, and a Wii. And then I had a Game Boy Advance SP, and we had a few other handhelds from Nintendo. But I kid you not, even though we had those consoles, we also had any PlayStation that was out at the time, an Xbox 360, the whole shebang. I was never on those Nintendo consoles. I think maybe I played Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube, but nothing else. I played nothing else. And we never got any Legend of Zelda, which is like the one IP that would always make me want to play a Nintendo console. And so, it's funny that I just dismissed Nintendo almost entirely growing up. And now I find myself enjoying a lot of their games more than any other new game that might be coming out now. And so, I've been playing through A Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on my DS. I've got the Ace Attorney trilogy going on my Switch right now. I have a couple of other games lined up, but just having a blast. I beat Metroid Prime for the first time, and my gosh, that was a fun game. And so, yeah, it's weird to me. And then you think about like these indie titles like Dave the Diver. I really enjoyed that, and I'm not a big fan of anything in the ocean or, just kind of like the roguelite elements where, every dive is different and, you do a bit more to try to get, the story to advance. But the combination of that with the sushi stuff at night, and it was just a blast and it was charming. And I don't think a lot of games nowadays capture that essence of fun, charm, and imagination that I'm finding in a lot of these indie games and even these Nintendo titles. And so being older, having more responsibilities, living in a house and working on it, being married, all of these things I have to take into account because they all demand my time in one way or another. And I can't afford to give the amount of time I used to give to a lot of the games that I used to play. And so with these smaller indie titles, with these Nintendo titles that in general really focus on the gameplay first and then build the game around that core concept, those have been so fun to play because they don't demand a lot of your time. A lot of the time they get you right into the gameplay and then they're maybe done within 20 hours. And I love that. And then plus, with a lot of the consoles I just mentioned, the Switch, DS, I have a Steam Deck that I've been using to run my emulated games, and all of it is portable. I can play wherever I am. So I can sit on the couch, I can lay in the bed, I can take them traveling, and it just makes the experience of going through a game a lot more enjoyable. And yeah, with the Steam Deck, I can take a lot of those AAA experiences with me through that avenue, but they're still long. And it just becomes a lot. And for instance, Assassin's Creed Shadows, I I was so excited because I had been a fan of Assassin's Creed for a very long time. And I'm not the biggest fan of the new RPG gameplay style, but I had always wanted the series to go to Japan. I just thought it made sense, right? And it finally went there, and I could not beat it. I think I spent maybe 20 hours and I cut myself off because the map was just too huge. I found myself still coming across like question mark locations that just kind of felt like there to be there. And I just felt like the game itself wasn't really respecting the time that I was giving to it. And yeah, I dropped it. And even with this, and I don't know, this might be a controversial thing. Expedition 33. I really appreciate that game. I think it's a great game. I mean, I love that soundtrack. I love the idea of the gameplay with the turn-based combat and parrying and dodging. The story was super intriguing. I mean, because it was just so different from what I'm normally seeing in a lot of these games. And it took some creative liberties and an imagination to kind of come up with the story that it told. And the one thing I just couldn't get with was environmental design and navigation within that environment. And the game is fairly linear. It's not an open world thing. It has like a world map that you can explore, but then you load into these like smaller hubs, essentially. And I remember just with a few of them, they're so samey looking, and there's no mini map in those areas to know like what path is the main path and what path is a branching path that could lead you to like, you know, an item or a collectible of some sort. And it got really frustrating because some areas I just didn't care for aesthetically. And I'm like, okay, where is the main way out? Because I'm kind of ready to move the story along. And I would end up going on some crazy side path and end up fighting some, I don't know, mini boss or whatever. And I was like, okay, come on. Where is the ending? Because I just want to move forward because I'm not really jiving with the exploration aspect. And for a game like that is linear, but then has these paths that can almost confuse you into thinking they are the main path, it got a little frustrating at certain points. And it felt a little bit drawn out. And so even then I found myself nearing like the end of the game, ready for the game to be done. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a phenomenal game. I think it's amazing. I think we need more games at that price point too, which we can get into in a whole different video. But at that $50 price point, I think it's an awesome game. It's an awesome game. But again, it's a game that I still found myself near the end going, man, I wish this was over, because I was just ready to move on. And so, yeah, I mean, now I find myself picking up a handheld device. I find myself picking up a lot shorter games, or games that I know are going to be shorter, or games that I know that can be played in spurts and are meant to be played in spurts. A lot more than I am now sitting down at my desk or anywhere that I might have a home console set up. And if anything, I find myself sitting at my home console setups more often when I'm able to play with someone. That's where I feel like it is the most enjoyed for me, because you're joining in with someone else in those games. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to make a video about this because I just find it really interesting, because I never thought that I would ever see myself deviating from a lot of the games that I used to play, or that I would play more often. Because, I mean, in reality, I still play those games. So, you know, like Death Stranding, I know Kojima is just really great about cutscenes and super long cutscenes in general. So, I mean, I'm still excited for Death Stranding 2. I'm still excited for the Ghost of Yotei game on PlayStation 5 in October. And I mean, my fear with those games is that the world might be too big, that I might end up getting to a place where I'm trying to just beeline the game because I'm ready for it to be done. And, you know, it kind of sucks, but I do enjoy those games. I mean, any Persona game, Metaphor ReFantazio, like those are easily over 100-hour games. And I love those to death, even though all of those experiences for me have just been at a home console, sit down in front of your TV or monitor kind of game. And, you know, it just comes to how a game presents itself, how a game structures the way that you move through it and engage with it, that can trump, you know, that huge open world or bloated gameplay aspect that a lot of games now have. So I hope that all makes sense. I just wanted to make a video about it because it's just been something I've been thinking about and just going over, because I'm like, oh man, like, am I really changing my habits? And am I really like playing more of these types of games? These are games I never thought I'd be playing, because why would I pick up the cheaper $30 game, or why would I pick up the Nintendo game and not pick up the big AAA exclusive, like best in class graphics console to play my stuff on? And yeah, it's just becoming more and more evident that I just want to have fun when I play games, and I want that gameplay aspect to be at the forefront of everything that I play. Yeah, because that's what we do it for. You know, a lot of us do it to escape, and I think even that gameplay focus is still a means of creating an escape for people, because it's fun. Like, you're not thinking about anything that might be worrying you or stressing you out. You're just having fun playing something. And I can see why, like, even games like Mario have lasted so long, even if it did hit like a stale period with a lot of the new Super Mario Bros. Titles. You know, they're just fun, and they get you right into the game and right into playing. And a lot of them now are co-op, and you know, you just pick it up, you turn it on, and you play. And so, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. But anyway, enough for me. I want to hear from you guys. Please leave in the comments below, like, how have your gaming habits changed? Have they changed at all? I mean, I just want to know, because I think the older we get, obviously priorities change, people change in general, and it's not just to deal with habits, but just like perspectives and things like that. And so I want to know if I'm the only one, and I'm probably not. So yeah, just leave your thoughts in the comments below on this. I'd love to hear from all of you. And yeah, until next time, be safe, and I'll see you later. Peace.